Well, Shane, thank you very much. Do tell us, firstly, it seems that Virat Kohli and Rahul put up an amazing partnership, but also created history today with certain records. Do tell us about them.
Well, absolutely. So, Rohit and Kohli, look, there's been a lot of focus, a lot of speculation on the two of them. After all, both Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli are now retired from both Test and T20I cricket, which basically means they are one format players. The only format they're playing is ODI cricket. So that means anytime India has an ODI series, the buzz around it is a lot more because, of course, these are two of Indian cricket's biggest stars, arguably ever, definitely of the current generation. So there is a lot of focus and a lot of positive vibes among fans because let's face it, they love seeing Rohit and Kohli at their best. And there were also some doubts because again, and we'll get to that later on in through this show, is that there were doubts over their sustainability and whether or not they'd even be making it to the 2027 ODI World Cup because of course that's the next major event for the two of them to look forward to. But having said that, the doubts which were supposedly coming from top management, from team management, have been answered in some style. Kohli, of course, getting a magnificent 100, is 52nd in ODI cricket, 83rd overall in international cricket. Phenomenal numbers from someone who's just made it a habit to break records in what is arguably his favorite format of the game in terms of his prolific run scoring. So it was a phenomenal innings from him. And as for Rohit, again, there were doubts over him. And it's funny because both of their fortunes are so intertwined that you're often looking at them as one entity, despite the fact that they're two very different players. Both of them are getting runs. And again, if Virat's century will definitely steal the headlines. But Kohli also got, Rohit also got a
Right.
very well made 50, which, truth be told, ended up helping India massively in this particular game.
Shane, do tell us, what does Virat Kohli's 100 mean for him and the team going forward, given speculation over his involvement in the 2027 World Cup?
Yes, absolutely. Look, this knock was much needed for Virat Kohli. Let's be honest, when he made his ODI comeback for India in the three-match ODI series against Australia, there were a lot of question marks because he failed in both the first and second game as well. So there was pressure, and to make things worse, India lost both of those two games. Now, obviously, when he did end up getting a half century in the third game, it was in a losing cause because again the series was done and dusted. But this time around, his 100 comes in the first match of the series has potentially set India up for a win and showcased once again why Virat is arguably one of the best batters in the history of ODI cricket. He's someone who knows how to pace his innings, knows when to be aggressive, knows when to milk the ones and twos, knows how to build an innings. And that is something that has helped him a lot when it comes to chasing targets, hence his Chase Master nickname by Indian fans. But he proved today that he's just as good at building an innings batting first rather than just second. And again, it's much needed. There's still been a lot of noise and a lot of speculation over whether or not both Rohit and Kohli will even make it to 2027 because, again, top management has been very non committal in confirming it. There's been a message coming not just from AajTak, the chairman of selectors, but even India's head coach Gautam Gambhir of 2027 is a long way off. Let's stay in the present. Let's focus on the now. Hopefully, they'll be there. They need to keep performing, has been the message. So, if they need to keep performing to keep their spot in the team, well, then they've done just that in emphatic fashion. And again, couldn't have done it much better. It was a good ground. It's against quality opposition. You need to be scoring against the best teams. And again, this was a South Africa team that has been doing very well in white ball cricket. So they welcome runs and should hopefully, if they continue to keep batting this way, quell a lot of the noise and a lot of the speculation. Because again, if the aim, as many people are saying that, there's potentially hopes that they may not potentially be there. If that is the aim that they be nudged out of ODI cricket as well, they're making it very, very tough for that to happen because form that they're showing makes it impossible to drop them.
Right. Shane, addressing this uncertainty that you're talking about, this was Kohli's 83rd international 100 across formats. Is there even a slightest chance of him breaking Sachin Tendulkar's record of 100 hundreds?
I mean, look, I think that was the dream that a lot of fans had. And truth be told, given the kind of monumental run I remember Kohli had from maybe 2015 to 19, it seemed very much likely that that would happen. But it's worth remembering that, look, he's only a one format player now. If he was still playing Test cricket, I wouldn't have put it past him in the least. In fact, I would say that given his fitness and given the hunger he still has for scoring big runs, he'd easily get there. But now I think it's a little tough because, again, he's not playing Test cricket and he does have a good conversion rate when it comes to Test cricket. Also worth noting that in ODIs, they're not going to be playing as many for quite a while. In fact, this ODI series and one that India will be playing against New Zealand in January will be the only ODIs that they're going to be playing for quite some time, because after that, there's a T20 World Cup, there's IPL, so there's plenty of stuff going on, but it is in the shortest format, the T20 format of the game. ODIs will not be a focus until at least July of the next calendar year. So obviously, when you're going from there, then there's plenty of cricket to be played heading into 2027, which is the crucial year when the World Cup will be hosted in South Africa. But look, I think 17 is what he needs, in fact, to even equal it. They need one more to potentially break that. I think it's a long shot. If he was still playing Test cricket, I would have said it's likely. But sadly, as a one format player, getting 18 more centuries, even if Kohli manages to have an insane, let's say, late surge in his career, I think it seems unlikely. I think Sachin Tendulkar's record, that particular record, can breathe easy.
Of that, I'm sure Kohli fans will keep their fingers crossed. But not to forget about Rohit. What are your thoughts on his knock, given his and Kohli's fortunes are seemingly intertwined at this point in time?
Yeah, it's interesting. As I said earlier as well, when you asked me the question, that, I think Kohli's knock will dominate headlines, it'll steal headlines, but we can't overlook that Rohit Sharma knock as well. It was really good. He had just lost his opening partner in Yashasvi Jaiswal early on, but him and Kohli absolutely, I think they assessed the conditions rather well. They realized that, look, this pitch, if you grind it out, be patient, then there's runs to be scored. So both of them were looking to, and I think Rohit in particular, look, we know he's had some sort of a transformation in recent times. If you look at him now, the fitness transformation he's shed over 10 kilograms. But there were other concerns as well. There was thought process among certain fans that, look, if he's losing that much weight and focusing that much on fitness, will it affect his game? The answer at this point so far is a resounding no. But again, I think those worries were unfounded for one simple reason. He's a timing and touch player, not someone whose game relies on brute force. And so he's not lost the timing and touch yet. He continues to get big runs. Don't forget, prior to this, the last ODI that India played was that game in Sydney against Australia, where he got a magnificent 100. Year two, I think there was a 100 there for him to be getting. Unfortunate that he ended up getting out to a ball that stayed rather low, so nothing much he could have done about that. He wasn't at fault. In fact, I dare say, of course, if he had gotten that 100, this would be an even bigger thing, considering that both the stalwarts have gotten hundreds on the same day and would have been sending a message. I think, see, for them at this point, the mantra, whether told or otherwise, is that they need to keep performing, or there is a chance that they will be looked beyond. So far, they're answering any doubts over their status or whether or not they still have it in this format. They're answering it with an absolute resounding no. But they're not doing it off the field. They're not making public statements. They're not throwing a temper tantrum on social media. None of that. Whatever chances that they are getting to perform, they are performing, and they're performing very, very well. So I think both of them being in amongst the runs as India get 350, no better way of sending the message to the concerned authorities that, listen, we're here. We're still very good. We're still arguably your best batters. You can't even be thinking of dropping us at this point in time.
Right. And this 136-run partnership between Rohit and Kohli basically felt like two veterans had turned back the clock and time. So how good was it to see the two of them batting like this?
I mean, as an Indian cricket fan, it's something you've been used to seeing for a very long time. But the fact now the context is also very different, right? Back in the days when they were batting together and they were both in their prime, they were pretty much all format beasts for India. But this current Rohit and Kohli are elder statesmen. They are retired from Tests and T20. So you're only getting to see them in ODI cricket. And the fans, by the way, responded with aplomb. You could listen to the buzz every single time that they were batting. The Ranchi crowd were absolutely enjoying watching them play. In fact, when Kohli got to his 100th, there was also a fan invader a pitch invader who ended up making it all the way to Kohli. That's a different question that it raises a bit of scrutiny over why it is this keeps happening. But obviously, I can't question that fan's passion. He definitely wanted to be close to his idol. But coming back to how it is that these two batted, look, they are masters at stitching together partnerships in this format. And what makes them so good is that they can complement each other so well. So there was a time when Kohli started batting that he was looking to be aggressive. His strike rate was operating well over 100. At that point in time, Rohit slowed things down a notch. Then later on, Rohit also started picking up pace. At that point in time, Kohli started milking the ones and twos. So watching them bat in sync, it's beautiful, and it's a partnership that comes about due to years of experience. They've done this together so often for India at this point in time that it's basically just muscle memory for them, that they know how to complement each other. They know when it is they needs to attack, or when it is one needs to attack and the other needs to sit back. So it was a masterclass, really, if you ask me, in terms of watching ODI batting from two players whose legacy in ODI cricket is enshrined right up there as perhaps not just among the best in the world, but definitely amongst the best that India have produced. So watching them, as I said, it wasn't just great for fans on TV who were watching, even the live crowd could not get enough of them. And if this is just a sign of things to come, I think Indian fans are going to be feasting a plenty on more such knocks from the two of them, because again, they're showing no signs of slowing down. Kohli, we know, has been always obsessed with fitness, always obsessed with ensuring that he is operating at a physical peak. Rohit, in recent times, has taken up that mantle as well, has shed weight, is looking leaner than he perhaps ever has looked in his career. And the improved fitness is definitely paying dividends for him
Right.
as well. The running was much better. So, overall, an absolute dream to watch.